Hey everybody, this is Zach from ScrimpLife.com. I know Ken's been putting up videos and promised him I'd get a video up soon here, so it'll be a little bit on the shorter side for now. I'm getting ready for drill duty this weekend, so got to get a bunch of stuff ready before early drive in the morning. But this is the other side of Skrimp Life. This is my one rack that my girlfriend would somewhat approve of me putting in. As you can see, it's just kind of a really it's a 3-rack system. The bottom rack's got some storage equipment, just kind of some of my pumps and styrofoam containers from some shrimp orders that I've made, and other random, some heaters, because this room doesn't maintain heat as much sometimes due to a poorly sealed window, which I need to fix this summer. But really, this is the shrimp room. It is partly a computer room where my girlfriend and I do a lot of our schoolwork and work from home type stuff. So this is pretty much set up. I've got my pump sitting in here on top of some styrofoam with terribly managed air tubing right there that kind of just runs out the back. And we've got some food storage here, and then also I've got all my samples from A17. This Skrimp Life sign actually came from Ken, I believe it was last Christmas, and then which needs to be put up outside the doorway. But I also got my brine shrimp hatchery, which is for the jellyfish, which will be another video. But I actually won the jellyfish art giveaway at the A17, so this hatches some live brine shrimp so I can feed to them. These are the wonderful Shrimp King tanks from A17 that I picked up from Rob and Amanda at Flip Aquatics. Obviously their sticker and Rob's mother-in-law's handwriting is still on the glass. I set these up and I've just been letting them run. Very basic setup right now. Just got some crypts and some dragonstone and a piece of driftwood in both. Just letting them cycle. One of them's got the fluval shrimp stratum, which is in this one, and then this one actually is a mixture of, I think it was Brightwell that Rob had in his tank, and then I picked up some of what's his name? Sorry, drawing a blank. Got it over here actually. We got some more fluval shrimp stratum and some Shrimp King active soil. That's who it was. So that's the mixture there in that one. Didn't want to get rid of the Brightwell, but just threw some on top from some additional substrate in there, and then got those corner filters on there with some temperature readers. They've been going great. Shrimp are going in there soon. I'm thinking some really nice blue bolts and maybe some bonefish, or the red fancy tigers if I can get a good price, and or get a few just in general. Then we got the middle tank here, which actually was a quarantine tank. But what happened was I had a PRL tank with some really nice PRLs that started to kind of get a little wacky parameter wise, so I had to kind of move the remainders of the PRLs because I noticed some of them dropping off, and so I moved them into this quarantine tank because I was worried about the tank crashing completely. But in this quarantine tank kind of is just, a crazy plant propagation, really. I've got a ton of Christmas moss, a bunch of Subwasser tang, unfortunately duckweed, because ever since we got a little bit of it back in the day, it just somehow keeps showing up in our tanks. but and I can't remember what this plant here is. I can't remember the technical name, but and then we got some Busa here attached. But the thing is I had apparently a black King Kong, an extreme black King Kong actually, that was in this tank, but I never saw him. Didn't even realize he was still in here. And one of the PRLs actually got buried up and actually produced a crystal black, a pretty high grade crystal black. I was kind of shocked, but so it's kind of turned into a Michelin tank, unfortunately. Actually, he is right there. But this tank's been doing well. I don't even clean it. It just kind of maintains itself. Just add some water and feed these guys, so they do really well. Unfortunately, though, now that the genes have kind of crossed, I can't really call anything true PRLs anymore. But still, they're beautiful shrimp. And then got some old bonsai tree that I'm gonna put some Christmas moss on and throw in one of the Shrimp King tanks, actually, so that'll be kind of cool. And then down here we've got it's essentially a 40 something, it's about a 42 42 to 45 gallons, I'd assume, of water that's actually being held right now, but it's partitioned into 3 tanks. So what I did is I utilized some of the rock that was still in here from where the individual we bought these tanks from. In Ken's video, he has some as well, but we have some crystal reds, some normal crystal reds in here that are kind of just hanging out right now. Just got a few of them with a ton of subwasser tang, propagation of the plant from the middle tank. Actually, all this is propagation from the middle tank, all these plants, besides a few other random ones that I had acquired or purchased or got from Ken from his propagation. And then in the middle tank here, I got some orange sakuras that I got from the shrimp farm, as well as these crystal reds, by the way. They were from shrimp farm as well, from Ryan. But these orange sakuras are actually doing really well. I got 30 of them, and I only lost one, and it was probably my fault on I had to get these guys kind of acclimated a little quick. I was going up north for Thanksgiving, but there was 2 buried, pretty well buried actually, and some of the offspring have already hatched. We got some little shrimplets in here swimming around, so that's been fun. And then again, more propagation from previous tanks or Ken's tanks, besides this little piece of driftwood with an Anubis on it. That's grown quite substantially for me. And then in this tank we've got again, craziness of plants. Christmas moss. This one's actually been going for about, I'd say about 6 or 7 months, and I love how it looks and hasn't detached from that 3D shrimp printed cat little holder that they made. It's pretty nice. It actually has went from being a little itty bitty golf ball size inside of this little container, and now it's just creeping over the edges, and shrimp are always in there. So, but in this tank we've got some 24Ks and a few yellows that I need to kind of cull out, where the 24Ks had they didn't the genes didn't make it so far, but majority of them are 24K golden backs in here, and there's actually buried one right there. Barely can see her, but it's been nice to see her kind of getting moving along. And then again, like I said, plenty of plants to go around, and obviously they all have sponge filters. and a heater just because I have it on the lowest possible settings. These tanks set anywhere from 67 to 69, but those heaters don't go any higher than that at all. I watch them very closely. And this last tank has got some green jades. Now, these things went absolutely nuts, and I had a hard time after my son was born to try and keep up with culling. So I need to actually go through here and get rid of some bad eggs. Obviously, so there's not some not so nice, because that one's obviously kind of like a really light green, almost a little bit of blue in them. So I need to start culling some of these out, but I've got some really nice ones, and we've got some guys that are some females that are getting buried up, which is awesome. These things have just been going non-stop. Again, plenty of plants in here. We've got propagation I got to find out that name, but I got some busa in here, some driftwood that actually came from the jade's previous tank, because they were in a smaller tank, but they outgrew that, and just some leftover rock that was in the tanks previously, and I threw some sand in here. I know normally I took a little risk on the sand, just due to it's just fluvial black sand, or sorry, not fluvial, it's or is it fluvial? The fluorite, the black fluorite sand. Went with that just to kind of get these tanks set up when I bought them, because I wanted these tanks cycled for 817. And I kind of stuck obviously mainly with some Neos, but these crystal reds are eventually going to move elsewhere. I've got 3 10-gallon tanks, and I'm going to utilize that leftover fluvial shrimp stratum and the shrimp king soil, and get some tanks going and throw those guys in there once those are cycled. But and then obviously, like I said, I've got some additional lights and heaters and some styrofoam packaging, and other than that though, got some wonderful posters from AE17. And then last year we didn't get to go, unfortunately, but we did get some posters ordered. So that was from last year's. We couldn't find this. We saw one at this year's, but we didn't actually see anybody selling the USA 2017 one. So if anyone knows, please leave a comment or anything, and I'll definitely have to get a hold of one of those, because it'd be neat to have. A video for the shrimp, you know. Hey.
Oops.
Yeah, this is my girlfriend Ashley.
No.
Oh no. Yeah, so she's a little camera shy, but then we got my water. The water is done by a RODI system that I got attached to my washer and dryer. Unfortunately, it is kind of manual. I put it in buckets or in these jugs and bring them in here, but I'm working on getting a bigger storage system to put in the garage so I can just tap off that. But again, like I said, I'll make some more videos, and definitely get the jellyfish in my living room tank, which needs to be redone a little bit. I've got some just some cichlids in there, and then the jellyfish tank that sits in the room that was kind of a random acquire. So sorry for the quick video, and hope you guys enjoy, but sorry for any random stuttering. The brain's kind of acting a little slow as I got a lot to do tonight. So again, leave any comments, and appreciate any and all support. And again, thanks again, Rob and Amanda, for these tanks. They're beautiful, and can't wait to get some shrimp in them and get them going. All right, guys, thanks.